Go for it.
Good evening. Quite a quiet day as far as it looks. If you look at the S&P contract, we're coming from our Meta trading room. Most moves today were in selling down the lower value tech companies. Part of that was due to the S&P warning on less than B minus ratings. As you can see on the, and we'll go through the charts real quickly in a minute, but the S&P was pretty well steady. We had, as expected, a pullback as we spoke about this morning ahead of the CPI tomorrow. The only newsworthy event really, and it was fairly negligible, was a 30-year bond market auction, which was rated as a D minus, and much to do that was the nerves that President Biden has been all day readying everyone for a bad CPI report tomorrow. So just on that, before we get into the charts, the forecast for that is to go from 6.2% in October to 6.7%, and the core is seen at 4.9, up from 4.8. Remember, it was meant to be 2%, right, in our transitory world. So obviously we're way past that. The fear doesn't seem to be there, though, for inflation and viruses. So let's go through the charts real quick here. We're going to go through S&P. Let's look at the daily first. So daily, as we've been watching, let me blow that up for you. So we keep watching this Tankin's our big story. And here's that all-time high. Remember, down in 3, and we're now up in 3. So it's a question whether this bottom for Elliott wave people is a complete C wave, or this is A of a larger degree C, meaning that would be C complete. This would be part of another big wave up if you're a bull. If you're a bear, this is a B wave of a larger C. Keeping it simple, we look at these two here, the Tankin and Cajun, and the previous high. So we're going to look at that tomorrow, how it trades. What we saw today in the, you can see in the hourly in the S&P, just sideways all day, correcting this big breakup. So literally we just corrected where we broke from. Remember Adam's theory? We correct the break on angle. So, and many different, you take in optionality, human emotions, etc. So pretty clear. We will talk about this before the market if anything happens overnight. And 5 minute, I won't bore you with that. It's going to be messy. I'm going to bring Madavi in now to talk about the both the NASDAQ and the Russell. I'm going to put up a chart on the NASDAQ while he talks. So how was your day, mate, trading that? Pretty good from what I can gather.
I mean, it's kind of, so yesterday I went long position thinking we're going to be as strong today. So I carried this ISPC. It had a strong finish yesterday. And, so my system here opens up in early morning, like at 1 o'clock. So I got up there and thinking this thing was going to run right away, but it didn't. But this other stock that me and you traded, we had this, if you remember, ISPC, and we had the
right.
What is it? The ENSC, and the ENSC started taking off in the early hours, and so it started moving pretty good. It's a cheap stock, but had some good movements. I traded that and trading some NQs. On the short side, actually at the beginning, I went long on it, and I went long some Russell. Then I flipped it, and I went short while I was trading this ENSC. Did okay on it until the market opened, and the market was fairly stable in the morning, and there's a lot of stocks running up, so I was trading a lot more stocks than I did futures today. We're having a good at it. I think a couple of good ones today.
Yeah, it was that other runner. What was it? IINN. There's a few of those. Yeah.
There was a few of them, So, and then all of a sudden that ISPC popped. Just like We thought it would, and we got out of that, and we did okay on it. And then that IIMM, there's a whole bunch of these
Yeah,
stocks.
a lot of them sounded similar today, which is interesting. What I found interesting, we talked about earlier, the Russell was pretty well getting pounded. Yet
Yeah,
you had some of the best runners today for a long time, which,
some great stocks trading. Then all of a
right, which
sudden,
is unusual, right?
yeah, all these little stocks that got pounded really came to life today. That kind of tells you this might be the end of the bull run, maybe, because the little stocks run, and so it's like they run out of stuff to run up, and they go.
Right. There's a bit of that, isn't it?
And then we had a sell off at the close, which was really good. So I got short some of the futures and stuff, and rode into the close. Then we had some great earnings report. We had some great earnings. I was short Snap all day, so I'm going to hold that overnight. We got Chewy. I'm low but long it. I'm going to look to get out of that. But we got Lululemon. We did a trade on that day. And then what else? We had Oracle.
So trading up, we had Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle.
10%.
Yeah,
Broadcom 6%. Chewy, you mentioned you bought the dip on that and did well. That was down 7, but I think it was down 10 at one stage. Outdoors, American Outdoors was down 19%. Wow, that was a good one.
Wow.
And Lululemon or Lululemon, whichever part of the pond you're from, was down quite a bit, bounced positive, kind of like they're doing CrossFit or something, and then finished down 2.1. That was the main earnings, I believe. Did I miss some others?
Up on the $10 billion share buyback, whatever.
Right. That's an incredible amount of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
$10 billion.
Dividend to the shareholders, right? But that stock has been a kind of like a dead stock, kind of like what Microsoft did for years.
Right. It has been quiet. Costco was out as well. Costco came out.
Yeah. So we have some good ones, we got to play them, and so that was really good, So I'm just trying to get out of something. Like I said, I'm probably gonna hold the Snap. Chewy didn't have very good earnings. I bought some of that, and it's not looking really good. I might be exiting out of it. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more time.
Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes left here.
Before in like a couple minutes, but I'm going to hold the Snap short, get out of this Chewy, and tomorrow let's see if we continue down this weak path or we get a bid in the morning, and we'll see what happens. I'm short a little bit of NQ going into the. I'm long the NQ going into the close right now, but I'm going to flip out of it and.
Yeah, we'll be flat, both of us, more than likely when CPI drops.
So I'm probably going to hold into going into tomorrow's going to be Snaps, and maybe I'll do some trades later on tonight. After I get back from the gym on the futures, set up a position.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Keep viewers, stay healthy and fresh. Go to the gym, just get away from the trade, whatever you may do, walk the dogs, just break the monotony in the trading, and it makes you less stressful, sharp thinker. Just quickly on oil, I'll go through that real quick. Not much happened in the oil pit. We spent all day just drifting down. Remember, we're kind of like the S&P. It's a mirror image almost, right? And we finished at the bottom of the hourly cloud. It didn't even trade, if you look at this, between the different pivot points, really. I mean, barely, right? It didn't get up to R1 and it didn't get down to S1. And on natural gas, still easing after that massive, and we had our EIA report today. Let me give you a better chart than that. We had that EIA report today, and we sold off after that. So we still can't get a bounce in natural gas, right? That's pretty well the last few days. That's at 4 days action. We had that massive run, and there seems to be confusion between Europe and the United States gas. Well, it's a domestic product. And on that, we've heard all day about the whole Russia-Ukraine thing and US President Biden basically threatening Putin if you do this and that. It's really a domestic issue over gas, the most point. Most of us are pretty familiar with the Civil War aspect there. So one wonders if it's more of a redirection of what to look at. Seems to be the gut feeling with many of us. The only other news I remember is that AI stock they were up about 20%. But
That's
remember,
right.
when we say percentages with these low value stocks, it's not a lot of dollars, right? But they got a $500 million agreement with the Department of Defense. And there was a few other little deals, a few other secondaries, but nothing major. Good luck, everyone, tomorrow. There's not much out tonight. There's PPI out in Japan. There's some numbers out in England tomorrow, but basically CPI is being made out as, and everyone's on inflation watch. So we'll see how that goes. Any questions?
No, that
Yeah.
AI was a good one. Finally, I got a little bit of money back from that thing owed me. So
Not
I'm
wrong,
not
not wrong, yes.
I thought as soon as I did a little trading in, and as soon as I got in, I thought I was going to be doomed again. But
Right,
it,
right.
it was a little trade. It was a quick one, but it was good. Yeah. So I forgot about that one.
Right, and the other thing, I guess the real damage was also we saw in the good old memes favorite GameStop sold off all day. We also sold some other, I call it a meme stock, not sure if it's correct, but what we call Donny DWAC was up sharply yesterday and then sold off through the day. That's the Donald Trump social media SPAC. But when GME came down, it brought a lot of its brethren down with it. Anyway, everyone have a good sleep and get ready for tomorrow. And thank you from us. Anything else, mate?
No, that's it. That's it. Just get ready to always be killing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and remember, don't get caught up with that hike right after the news and right after the open tomorrow. Try to have an open mind, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.